Are we on the air?
You're now in the mix with The Corner Radio, hosted by Kill, banging nothing but classic hip-hop, soul, and R&B.
Ride together, I swear to God, I hope we fucking die together.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Y'all tuned into The Corner Radio, hosted by your man Kill. I got my R&B Co-op up here with me. Now I got Kaye JR. What's going on, y'all?
What's up?
Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta give me more than that, man. Y'all gotta give me more than that. Now y'all all reserved. Now y'all this ain't the slow jam show. Y'all ain't like this Venus flytrap on Natty or something, man. Y'all got all cool on me. But yo,
I was like, what's up? JR was all reserved, like, hi, how are you? Like,
nah, but yo, we gotta jump right into it, B. The other day I was watching BET and they had this joint with Mary coming on, just like, she's an icon, we're gonna just do this for Mary J. Blige. And me and T was sitting there and I was like, yo, the funniest thing about Mary is that when you get around Mary fans, they'll tell you, yo, she can't really sing. She can't really dance. And I was just like, then how is she an icon? Now, before we even get started, let me put this thesis statement. This is not a Mary hating show. This is not, I love Mary J to death. These are two of the biggest Mary fans that I know walking the planet. This is not that show. I'm not dissing anything about Mary. It kind of just hit me off guard. Like, it's like, yo, she's an icon. And I think she is, but is she the only one? Like, that's almost like saying LeBron is one of the best ever, but he really can't dribble, and he really can't shoot, and he doesn't play any defense. Then you'd be like, well, then how is he the best ever? You know what I mean? So we just want to try and sit down and chop it up about, number one, how that is possible. So Kay, you from the Boogie Down, you a huge Mary fan. You tell me, how is it that when we get around Mary fans, it's like, yeah, she's not the best singer. Nah, she can dance, but yes, she is an icon. How does that work?
it's because she came at a point where a change was needed in music. So, I mean, she came with the hard mixtape beats over some solid vocals. I mean, they're not the best, but they were solid. The sound was good. And really, I think the first CD, we probably didn't realize how bad her singing was. I don't think so. Because she came at that pivotal time. You Remind Me was dope. And for most people, the first time you heard You Remind Me was on the Kid Capri tape, I think. So, like, he's rocking and you like, yo, this is dope. You thinking she's just going to be like another Miss Jones singing on the joint. And then you hear it on mainstream radio like, oh. And she had a different look. I mean, like, that Special Kill, I saw a part of it. When you look at her, she had baseball cap to the back, but she also had on slacks and heels or whatever. She changed the whole look. The Catholic school skirt with the combat boots. So because she came at a time that music was like, honey, at a low, you had R&B, we had true our music, and then we had our parents' music, and it was a change. That's what we love about her. That's what makes her the icon, because she's an innovator. That's what makes her an icon. But her singing, let me tell you, she not singing no babies to sleep at night. Not rocking no babies to sleep.
All right, that's a dope point that you brought up, because like you said, it's just she was such an innovator. You know what I mean? And I think at that point in time, I'm 18. I'm not as deep in the R&B as I am now, to be like, I ain't have no beef with Miss Jones. She was just the around the way chick. It's not like I was listening to Sugar Hill like, oh, they could have got a better singer for this. So like you said, I don't think at that time we were really sitting there trying to find like chinks in the armor to be like, she ain't that dope, or she's not this and she's not that. JR, what you think, man?
I agree with Kay. I just think she came with a time where it was definitely needed, because during that time we had it was Tony, Whitney, Mariah, all these girls that can actually sing. And it was like, these girls from the hood is not gonna, adapt to a chick wearing a gown and some heels all the time. So when Mary came out with the baseball cap and the baseball jersey and the combat boots, it was like, yo, we can relate to her. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, then you had the hip hop dudes like, yo, she's singing over these dope people, like you said, like top billing. Like, they like, yo, this is hard. And you like, Kay said, well, what's the 411? We definitely didn't pay attention to the vocals. But soon as we saw like her live, it was like, oh. It was like, oh, righty then. Like, even though it's one of my favorite performances from Mary, but when she did the Unplugged joint with her and KC, and they did that, like, you can feel the passion, but you like, holy shit, this is what we really love? Like, this is the girl that we like rocking to, but it was just like, I guess she was such an innovator, and it kind of took your mind off, okay, she gave us okay vocals, but what she's doing is different, and ain't nobody doing it, and that's why I think Mary has lasted so long and became the icon, because she was such an innovator.
And you know what I wonder too, if it's like, if she's the icon, like, because JR, I know you're younger than us, but I feel like people your age, like, you're a minority for people as young as you to know as much as you. Because one of my homeboys was like telling me about Tribe, and he was like, yo, he really believes that Tribe is his favorite group because when they were out, it was when we were in college. And that all those Tribe songs remind him of the best years of his life. You know, so he was like, yo, if you take Tribe's same discography and put it out post 96, they may not be my favorite group because now I'm on to adulthood, or, you know, it just, and I'm wondering if that's it with Mary. Like, Mary, for at least for me and Kay, just came out at a time that so many of our dopest memories of college, and for me, my senior year of high school too, is wrapped up in Mary's songs. You know what I mean? Because, what you think, Kay?
No, yes and no, because you can't hear Mary and not be like, oh my gosh. Like, when I think of what's the 411, I see myself in Blount on the 8th floor, window facing the front, and we would just be rocking, like, yo, like, it felt like you was in New York, you know, like, yo, this song is dope, and people pulling up in their cars, banging it. But I think for other people in our age group, like, I mean, you're always going to remember where you were when Mary dropped and how you felt when Mary dropped. And then the What's the 411 remix took it even a step further because nobody was putting out full remix albums, you know? So that was cool. But I think, again, it was just the relatability. I don't even know if that's the word. I may have made that up.
That was dope, though. That was dope. That was dope. Go ahead.
It's like she was us because we were only getting that sound on mixtapes. You only got that with Kid Capri and Ron G. Doo-Wop, Double R, they had their own thing, but they didn't have no chicks singing over vocals. Like we said with the Bad Boy Show, I think it was, Puff took what Ron G did with Tasha and gave it to Mary and made it a sound that people wanted to duplicate. So then when Tasha came off and she did Where I Wanna Be Boy, nobody realized that that was the song she was singing on the Ron G tape, but it was Ron G got the hype beats instead of Where I Wanna Be Boy. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. She came out at a time where we needed a change and we were only getting that on mixtape. So to get it mainstream, it was awesome. Like, yo, I can turn the radio on and hear this. So that's what really like causes us to love her, because you didn't have to copy your friend's mixtape. You didn't have to be like, yo, dub this for me. You know, let me go try to cop this. It was on the radio. So,
well, tell me this. What do y'all think? Because thinking about it like that, like when we look at artists like Marvin, Stevie, no matter what generation you go to, they're icons. You can ask your mother, your grandparents, whoever. What do you think our parents feel about Mary? Do they feel like she's an icon?
No, my mother thinks she gets high. My mother was like, is she still getting high? Like, that's always like, didn't she used to get high? And knowing where she lived in Yonkers. And like the building that she grew up in, literally, she lived in my god sister's building. And so for me, it was so dope because they felt like, yo, we saw somebody make it. Yeah, they had hard working people from the projects. Like My god sister's parents was hardworking, and they eventually got out. But that particular project was no joke. And it's like, youngers, y'all ain't really banging like that. But that particular project, the nickname is Slow Bomb.
Slow Bomb.
And so when you go there, well, now they kind of upgraded it. But like when you go there, you'd be like, oh my God. So that's what my mother always associated her with. And then to see her sing live on shows, my mother would be like, you know, she from Slow Bomb. Like, you know, just kind of like, what you expect? So that's what they think. And they didn't understand it. Because my father and them would be like, you know, like, gee, that girl can't sing. I mean, you like this? Y'all call this music? This ain't music. And you know, they give you that whole in our day we had. And so they don't view her as an icon because she wasn't a game changer like Marvin was for them, or like James Brown was. I'm sure my grandparents thought James Brown was horrible, but my mother broke her ankle at a James Brown concert. Like, yo, come on. So, oops, it's the same thing, you know?
Right. What you think, JR? What's your mom's? See, I know your mom's is a lot.
Well, see, Mary actually kind of brought the hip hop soul together because my dad is a big hip hop fan and my mother is a big soul fan. So when you hear Mary singing and then you got her singing all these hip hop beats, it kind of worked because my mom and dad were always arguing who they were gonna play. So at least when we can listen to Mary, it's like, oh, okay. My dad is like, okay, I can hear the what is their name? The Audio 2, that's Stop Billing, right?
Right.
Yeah, and listen to that. And then you can listen, like, Leave a Message with the Schoolie.
Yeah,
like, you can listen to that, and my pops is like, all right, I can rock with it. And my mom is like, okay, cool, I'm going to sing. She's singing, and it's all good. My grandparents know Mary because we played her so much, but it's just like, you know, what Kay said. My grandparents like her because of her story of where she's from. It was like, yo, this girl had hard times out of Slow Bomb and made it. So it was like they respect her like that. So they like, yo, it ain't too many people that's getting out of Slow Bomb that's making it. And Mary made it. So they looking at her like, okay, this is what the kids like. This is what, okay, clearly, you know, Junior and his mom actually love this, you know, love Mary. Cool, we respect her. Is she an icon to us? No. But they like, okay, we'll take it. Her story, this is her story, whatever. But me and my mom is like, yo, she's an icon. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? My mom actually, and I mean, you know, sometimes I got to give it a look up there. But mom puts her up there with, she said she will be up there with Gladys and Aretha. And sometimes I'll be like, mama, hold up a minute. And she be like, wait a minute. And she takes about 15 minutes to prove her story. I get where she's going. I get what she's trying to say. But I'm like, we talking about vocals here. You want to talk about vocals, and Mary will never be up there. But if you want to talk about the career that she's had, then I get it. But yeah, but my grandparents respect her because of her story.
You know what's interesting though? Like JR just said something. Like he said, well, we talking about Mary. Like we talking about vocals. She ain't gonna be up there with vocals. But you know what's interesting? If you ever see Mary on like award shows, when they have somebody really work with her and they keep her in her range, she doesn't do bad. She has a solid voice. But it's almost like the people that work with her on her albums, and we do too, because I mean, again, like you said, Kill, we deem her an icon. We like the imperfections, we like the crack in it. It's like it's real to us. But when they have her on award shows and she sings, Mary sounds solid. You know what I mean? And it's almost like the people that work with her don't want to have those people work with her so she can sound solid. Like think about the Kirk Franklin song that she did, and it was her, and I think Bono was on the song.
Yeah, R. Kelly talking about Lean on Me.
Yeah, and like she was solid on there, and I was like, okay, Mary. But they don't want that solid Mary for the album, not at all. They need Mary with the cracking voice who you're struggling to hit her note. That's what they want. That's what we want. We don't want solid Mary. So I think she will be up there, but just not for totally her singing. And maybe it will be her singing because her singing came at a time that there was a change, you know? So.
Right.
The funny thing is, I almost look at almost like the Hall of Fame with basketball, because KU says something, you know, keep her in a range, and it makes you think of you know, certain players have certain skills and certain attributes. You know what I mean? Like back in the 90s, Rex Chapman, he was a 3-point specialist. That's all he did. You didn't want Rex to do nothing else but just keep the three. So we're going to put you in a position for you to win. You may still get to the Hall of Fame, even though you're not the best all-around basketball player. You know what I mean? So I did what JR was saying as far as, you know, she may not be up there with the Glass and Aretha's as far as the singing, but I still think Mary deserves that spot in the R&B Hall of Fame. It's funny because I'm just like, are we giving her a pass? Because it just goes back. I never forget when Frank Ocean first came out, and I'm not a big Frank fan. When I heard the album, I was like, you know, everybody was like, oh, this the next one. And I always tell younger cats, you gotta remember, in me and Kay's generation of the next one, it was like, yo, it's this new MC out of Queensbridge, Nas. Or is this MC out of Brooklyn named Big? Like, the next ones for me when I was growing up were hip-hop icons. They are the Mount Rushmores of hip-hop. So when you tell me this the new R&B dude, I'm thinking, okay, this must be like D'Angelo or Maxwell. And I heard Frank Ocean, I'm like, it's cool. And then I'm seeing people on like message boards like, yeah, well, I know Frank ain't the best singer and I know he don't got the best live show. And I'm like, well, stop right there. Like, yo, how are you telling me this the next one? Don't got a good live stage show, can't sing. You know, it's like, I don't get it. So it was just like, I'm just checking myself to make sure that, and JR, I'm not taking a hit because I'm not taking a shot because I'm not saying you're like this. But one thing I love about y'all New Yorkers and y'all Knicks fans, y'all, I'm talking to people on Twitter. I'm like, yo, how y'all feel about Jeff Hornacek? People are like, oh, I love it. I'm like, stop.
You right.
No Knicks fan woke up in the offseason praying for Jeff Hornacek to coach this team.
Absolutely
It's
not.
okay to say that, but I love about y'all New York. No.
We ride with our teams.
Yo, Phil Jackson could have hired a pigeon to coach that team, and y'all New Yorkers would be like, son, that nigga from Brooklyn, son, he grew up with Booger in him, man. Yo, that pigeon know his basketball, man. Yo, that pigeon know what you talking about, son. He was over
I
there.
can't even get mad because he's right.
Man. So don't get it twisted. Like, and I love that about y'all. I love that. But I'm just wondering, are we giving Mary the pass? Are we saying, look, we know she's not the dopest, but in our eyes, she's still the dopest?
No, we not giving
But
her.
it's
We not. We not. To give her a pass would be like, Mary is hideous, and we just like, yo, I'm just gonna rock with her. You know, she's on Bad Boys, so I'm just gonna rock with her, and she's fine. No, we're not giving her a pass because, again, it's what she brought to the table. She came at a time where there was a change in music. We had R&B, but New Edition got older. And they had Any Heartbreak, and it was like, okay, yeah, this is cool, but they older now. Like, do we want to rock with Any Heartbreak? Because when you think about it, Any Heartbreak was cool, but it was Can You Stand the Rain? Now we was like, yo, these dudes finally grew up. Like they stepped their level up. We had Truth, they was cool, but you was at the age where like, is all I want to do is think about you, you know? And Mary came through with something solid and changed the game. I have to keep saying that they took mixtape style and made it mainstream. And so because she was the one who they used for that, we're not giving her a pass because she did her thing with it.
I see what you're saying. So she deserves it. So it's not a pass of like you said, you can't play basketball at all. You can hoop. You in the NBA. You know, it's gonna be hard pressed to get a record deal and you have absolutely no talent. I mean, that is doable. But
we gave her the same pass that we gave Jay when he came out. Like, I mean, okay, Jay had lyrics. But you went to see Jay and he just stood there and looked at you like, yo, you better entertain me. And it was just like, yo, I know, you know, and this was back in the 90s. Like, I know I ain't paid $60 to go see this dude and he just going to stand here in the middle of the stage and look at me and maybe walk to the left and to the right and then, like, I'm supposed to be entertained. We gave Jay a pass, like, yo, but his lyrics is dope. His lyrics is dope. Okay, yeah, but he just standing here looking at us like, he's so uninterested, you know what I mean? So everybody gets a pass in some way, shape, or form.
All right. Well, thinking about that and thinking about how you said, like, you know, that Mary brought the mixtape vibe and everything like that, thinking about things like how much production and songwriting can mean to an artist. You know, Kay, we was talking the other day and we were talking about music, who I think across the board, everybody knows can't sing, but has solid songwriting, has solid production. And truth be told, I have a lot of favorite music songs, like music, like the joint Teach Me, like he has some solid joints. Okay, why are you making that face?
You got some solid music songs, but I'm not even gonna bring up. I'm not gonna bring up AH. I'm not.
No, you can because
don't do it.
No, this is where we're going.
I don't understand that. Like, you got a dude who can totally sing, and his songs are good. But see, I realized something about you. I'm gonna save that point till later in the show, maybe. I realized something about you.
You gonna say the joke until later?
Yeah, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it. So you got a lot of favorite music songs. That's cute. Okay.
I got a lot of favorite Anthony Hamilton songs too. So
I know. Let's keep going with music.
All right, but what I'm saying is, so you can take an average singer and give them stellar production, and they can have, you know, a career. I mean, music essentially has had a career. I mean, I think he just dropped his 6th album, you know, so he's had a solid career in the music industry, but he's not the greatest singer. And then you have other singers like, who I think like Jennifer Hudson is one for me that always comes to mind, who is a great singer, but just never seems to have the right songwriting or the right production to really mesh with people to blow. So why do y'all think that is? Like, why do you think Jennifer Hudson, you know, and it was funny because the last album she did a track with Timbaland that was kind of dope, but then it was still kind of like, but you're not Timbaland. Like, I don't know where she fits in. So, I mean, I know with music, I remember when it dropped, you know, it was the Touch of Jazz crew out of Philly, and it sounded very D'Angelo-ish to me. It sounded very Brown Sugar-ish to me. I actually remember Quest not liking it, like saying this is a blatant bite of the D'Angelo sound. You know what I mean? And I don't know, people just jumped on music because, you know, Just Friends, I mean, it's a banger, you know, or what it was. But why do you think music could have this career, but then some people like Jennifer Hudson, or if y'all know any singers offhand that, you know, you think of that are really good singers but just never can put out a solid album, what do you think? I guess what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Like, what's more important, the songwriting and the production, or being able to sing? Okay, what you got?
I think it's being, I want to say being able to sing, but then, you know, we just went through this whole Mary thing, and we know she can't sing. But I think what happens with people like Jennifer Hudson, Jaheim I'm 50-50 with when I put him in the circle. Joe, I think he's good. What happens with people like them is that they don't get the right people to use them in their capacity. Everybody wants to try to be an innovator and stretch things. And really, when you think about why they try to do it, is because Puff stretched things and he pushed the envelope. So everybody wants to one up that bad boy sound. Like, if you ever saw the Bahana label that they did on Rough Riders, and their whole goal, and Leor's whole goal is, ain't another person going to rap in a shiny suit, and we want them to be great. And so that's what they went for. The Dean family went for that gritty sound. So they got the Locks, they got X. They made people battle for contracts. Nobody is battling for contracts. You know, like Eve was like, yo, I battled like 20 people. This is crazy. Me, I'm the only chick. I'm battling dudes. So what happens is everybody wants to push the envelope and be an innovator. So whether you competing with other rappers in the other producers in the rap world or other producers in R&B, you want to push the envelope, and that's what they do with Jennifer. They try to push the envelope. Jaheim, they kept him level the first CD, and then the next one he was okay. But I think so many people said he sounded like Teddy, which was funny because Teddy was like, no, he don't sound like me. And it kind of pissed me off because Teddy said it almost like, how dare you compare him to me? You know, and I'm like, dude, he can't even walk. He was in a car with a man. You better stop playing.
This is just habitual line step. What did that Absolutely nothing.
I knew she was gonna go there. I was like, yo, Kay not gonna say this today.
Absolutely nothing to do with nothing.
That's like, yo, you can't try to diss nobody right now in the state that you in, love. Like, yo, you still trying to redeem yourself. You can't diss nobody. But like Jaheim and artists like that, they look for the next new sound, but then they overstep the boundaries. Like their habitual line step is some of these producers. They do too much. They do the most. Like we talked about Babyface. Babyface keep everybody right there. Bam. Boom. There it is. Stay right here. We're not going to take you no further. I write dope love songs. I don't care if you're 10. You're going to sing this dope love song to the little kid in your class, and that's it. These producers don't do that. So that's why some of these other people don't make it. Jennifer Hudson can sing her butt off, but some of her songs are garbage. And you can't do that. It's almost like they treat the artists that can sing like they treat old school artists when they try to come back. They try to make them relevant by mixing them with a bunch of new people that have a new sound like, oh, this is great. No, you can't go all over the world with it. Kelly Price is dope. But sometimes they pair her with people that you don't need to be paired with. Just write some good songs and let this heifer sing. That's it. Selena Johnson said that in her second CD. Just let me sing. Don't try to do nothing else. Just let me come up here and sing, and she can blow. But that's not what's happening. Everybody wants to make a sound and be famous. Sometimes you don't have a sound. You're just a good producer, and you got to work with that person to make a good song in the arena that they're in. So.
Right. What you think, JR?
I agree with Kay, what she said. Like, with Jennifer Hudson, I think her problem is, I think what Clyde tried to do with her, he tried to make her another Whitney. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, he tried to kind of cater her to mainstream, but Jennifer Hudson is not that type of artist, and I don't think she has her own sound. They haven't found a good sound for her. So now they got her all over the place. Like her first album wasn't nothing but ballads. So then the second album, they tried to, get her skinny, work with her with R. Kelly, do all this to try to find another sound. It didn't work. Then you tried to get her with Timbaland on the third, and like, okay, let's work with Timbaland, let's work with, R. Kelly again, let's work with all these other people, put T.I. on the record. It's like they're trying to create a sound for her, and she can't even get with the sound. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Jennifer Hudson is a person that needs a great song, and let that girl just sing. She don't need all this imaging that you try to do for her, and it's just, that's why Jennifer Hudson has not worked, because she's all over the place. We don't know what is she gonna do. Like, what's her next album? Was she gonna come out with a dance video and dancing all over the place? It's like, no, we want Jennifer Hudson like she was in church, just singing. That's all we want. And I think Fantasia is another artist that just realized that. Fantasia's like, look, man, this mainstream thing ain't working. I ain't trying to do that. I'm not trying to, with Side Effects of You, because she just did an interview and she was talking about, the label wanted me to just try to be a little bit more mainstream, but I got a voice.
Yeah, Kay's in rare form tonight. Talking about
you got a voice that's not mainstream. Fantasia just can...
JR, you're missing all the jokes, bro. You're missing all the jokes.
Oh, like, God.
I said she can't read.
But she...
Keep on.
She can't. That's what they wanted her to do, JR, and you know that. She's like, they want me to learn to read, and I'm not. I'm just going to stick to songs, and as long as I can sing, they're going to tell me. I'm not going to learn to read. I'm telling you now. They don't never have her present at no award show. She can't read the cue card. She be like, and the winner is...
when that whole...
She even try to pronounce the word, and it's going to be her name. She be like, Fantasia? Is that me? Is that my name? Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, JR.
When that whole Steve Harvey joint came out, and they was talking about, how he messed up the name, they had Fantasia memes all over the place.
I'm sorry.
But I'm just saying, they just, for all that, they just need the right song. And I don't need them all over the place. Like a lot of those songs that Jennifer Hudson did for this last album, I don't believe it, because it's not her. Like, I don't need her to be walking through a park with a trap beat walking in. I'm not ready for that. I want that girl that sung I'm Telling You in Dream Girl. Give me that. Give me a great song. I don't need the image. And that's the problem why a lot of our artists, not the ones that can really sing, not doing well. Like this new album by what's her name? Jasmine Sullivan. She didn't win the Grammy. She didn't do all that. But the label didn't even, they brought out 2 songs, did 2 videos for her, and they should have brought out Let It Burn. Everybody was loving that joint, but they didn't bring it out because they thought, you know what, let's bring Dumb out with Meek Mills, which was stupid because he took so many L's, but that's neither here nor there. But why would they just bringing out these singles to try to push Jasmine mainstream? That girl ain't mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Like, that girl can sing a butter, but she just don't get the love like that. And it's these labels, man. These people at the top of these labels, these A&Rs that think they producers and all this kind. It's whack, man. I can go.
But no, you know what though? I beg to differ with the last part. I think that what's happening is nobody, again, is gonna be a repeat of what I said. They're not letting them stay in their lane. When you think about Stevie, Marvin, Teddy, going back to Motown, the Supremes, the Temptations, they all had a lane. Nobody wants to be in a lane anymore. They want to be all over, like, oh no, I can do this and I can do that. No, you can't. Sometimes you got to stay in your lane. You got to drive 60 and do your thing while you doing it, and you gonna pop. They don't want them to do that. Everybody wants to try to cross and prove that they can sing this style and do this type of thing. And that's where you lose a lot of good artists. Selena Johnson talked about how she bowed out. And I know I mentioned her a lot, but I always think about when she did her second album and she talked about how they tried to switch her lane. They did the song with her and Busta. It was good and it was a dope song, but that was a song they put out. They didn't put out all the other good ballads she had on there. All her CDs are slow as hell, but she can sing her butt off. And that's what you got to let them do. If you let the people stay in their lane, I think that music will become diverse again, and we won't all the songs won't sound alike because you get to hear the individual sound. So I disagree with JR on that last piece. That's all I want to say.
All right, and
it's all good as usual.
Yeah, we back to normal. It's back to normal now. We're all disagreeing. The thing that, just listening to y'all talk, just jotting down some things, I was thinking about, like, because I always said this about Game and Rick Ross. I never thought they would be dope MCs. They weren't the dopest. They didn't have the dopest lyrics, but their production was always bananas. And I used to always wonder, like, do they know, like, yo, I'm not the dopest, so that means I really got to go out here and get the best production to really carry me? Versus you could have a Nas, who the knock on his career has been he can't pick beats. You know, and I wonder, yo, is Nas just like, yo, I'm the illest, so I don't need the dopest beat. You know what I mean? And so I'm wondering, because I forgot which one of you guys was saying it about a singer, was just saying, like, almost like, you know, if you know you really can't sing, then you know you're going to need more. You know what I mean? Versus somebody who, not saying they're full of themselves, but they're just like, yo, I can sing. I don't really, you know, I don't need this producer. This producer needs me. Whereas the person who's kind of just like, it's like, nah, I need this producer. Then I also was thinking about, you know, kind of like we were just talking about the music business, because I think that's the problem. Once you get into the music business, it's about selling records. You know, that's the number one goal of everything. You know, people can sit here and say, well, I want to sing and tell a story. I want to. Right. The moral is you want to sell records. The label wants to sell records. You want to buy a big house, so you have to sell records. So it's one of those things, like, I don't know if the two even mesh. You know what I mean? Like, if it's the NBA and sports is different. It's like the NBA is going to give the best person a platform and a chance to show their stuff to the world. You know, where that's not how it works in the music industry. You know what I mean? You being the best singer, being the number one recruited singer out of 7th grade does not, you know, it doesn't mean that you're gonna, you know, because Jennifer Hudson, if that was the case, she should be selling billions of records. You know what I mean? Not, you know, so it's just like, that's the whole music business piece too. And then I think too, the thing about Jasmine, which you was talking about, JR, and I think one of the dope things that Jasmine did, even though she didn't really rock with him a lot on this, is finding that one producer that you really fit with. You know, and her and Salam Remy make dope songs. You know what I mean? Like, they make most of my favorite Jasmine Sullivan songs are Salam Remy songs. You know what I mean? And, you know, Freeway said it once. He was like, yo, when I linked up with Just Blaze, it was like, you got to get with that one producer who you kind of know each other and y'all can vibe off of. And like you said, with so many of these artists, you're just every album you're skipping to a whole new group of producers trying to, you know, figure out, you know, what sound works best with this or what sound works best with that. Like I said, after Timbaland and Genuine called it a day, I ain't never even want to hear a Genuine song again. Like, literally just like, well, I mean, you know, dog, that was the combination. Like, it's like, I don't want to hear C.O. Smooth over nobody else but Pete Rock. Like, you know, we don't care about that. But I don't think a lot of these artists can find that. And then, too, I think a lot of these new artists and a lot of these new execs, like when we talk about hip hop in our days, the problem is the people who worked at these labels, they were fans of the music.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like in A&R, you know, Puff being an A&R at Uptown, he was passionate about this music. A lot of these people aren't fans anymore. You know what I mean? So they don't know, this whole new generation doesn't know how to make an album. They know how to get a #1 song on iTunes, you know, or how to do this, but to construct an album from beginning to end, you got a A&R who's 24. What the hell is this nigga gonna be able to explain to somebody my age, 42?
But that's because they also don't understand the individuality in music anymore. They don't know how to be creative. You know, I think it really was around Timbaland, Just Blaze's time where everybody started wanting to work with them. And not like it wasn't like that before with artists where you like, oh, I want to work with Kill. Oh, I want to work with JR. But it wasn't, I want to work with them so I can take that sound and then, you know, well, let me say it again, like, I want to work with Kill. JR is like, oh, I want to work with Kay because I'm going to capitalize on Kill sound and make it better. Like, that's what was happening. You got, like, Timbaland sound, people tried to duplicate his sound. People tried to duplicate Just Blaze. Like, you could tell certain people, you could tell Swiss Beats' sound, you know what I mean? And people tried to duplicate that instead of just saying, yo, I'm going to do something on my own, I'm going to be original, and my artist is going to be an individual, and you're going to know my clique. Because there was cliques. Timbaland had his clique. You know, you could tell who was down with Primo because Primo had his crew. You know, there was a sound. We always talk about Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. You knew their sound and their clique. Nobody wants to do that anymore. They want to grab everything. It's like everybody wants to be greedy and grab everything. So you got these A&Rs who are just like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Instead of saying, damn, this dude JR can sing his ass off. Like, yo, let's develop a sound from his voice that's JR's signature sound. Babyface been sounding the same since we was in, like, what, middle school, Kill? Seriously.
Basically.
Since middle school, he ain't changed his sound. His longevity shows with the career when he produces people's stuff. They sound like Babyface. R. Kelly ain't changed his sound. With the first CD, he was different with Public Announcement. When he came out on his own, he was like, now y'all know who I am. This is my sound. This is who I am. That's what these A&Rs, these young ones, they don't realize. You got to create the next sound and just rock with it with that person. Don't try to capitalize on somebody else's sound. And don't try to bring all these different producers in on a CD and say, yo, this is going to be a dope album. It's not. It's going to sound schizophrenic. And that's what's happening. That's why people are not doing well. Jennifer Hudson is on crack. Fantasia's stuff is on crack. She's had 1 or 2 really good CDs, but then they want to, you know, switch it up on her. You can't do that. You got to take their stuff and ride it out. But on the flip side, I think that's why Joe has longevity. He's just never going to go past a certain point because Joe won't compromise his sound. He won't compromise who he is, and he won't let anyone that he works with compromise that. People are not willing to take that stand.
Yeah. The funny thing is too is that I think the hardest part of this whole game is like you said, Kay, the A&Rs now are just gonna look for, you know, and I always talk about it with hip hop, how Illmatic killed hip hop because now we all knew we could just get with the dopest producers at the time.
Yeah.
Like you said, we had our cliques and the Marley was only messing with the Juice Crew, and the Bomb Squad was only messing with PE, and Hurt and Love Bug only rocked with them Queens cats and everything like that. And then when Illmatic came, just like all those sounds just got blended together, and we've never been able to bounce back from that. You know what I'm saying? We've never been able, like my old head told me, man, you take your lemonade and your iced tea, you pour it together, get that half and half. Once they together, you can't go in there and get your lemonade back. It's a wrap.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what the industry is now, and the sounds are all over the place. I think the crazy thing too, and I want to bring this up because I want to put this to bed. Now I'll tell you this, y'all. I was binge watching some of your videos today, and you said something. God, what did you say? You said Kelly Price is a Shirley Caesar. Is that what you said?
Kelly Price? Did I say Kelly? Shirley? No, I said Fantasia gives me that.
All right. I just heard Shirley Caesar, so I know y'all give me hell for that. So I was just, So Fantasia
the other one.
is Shirley Caesar? Is that what you're saying?
Did you call her Shirley Chisholm? Did you
Right.
just say that?
No, I no Shirley Caesar. So
I
that,
can't deal with that.
that's what you going with? Fantasia is Shirley Caesar?
Jay on that right up. Don't say no. All right. So Fantasia is Shirley Caesar. Okay.
Is that what you're saying, Jay?
I said gives me that vibe.
All right.
I said gives me that vibe. That's what I said.
I catch
In R&B world.
Okay. All right. Cool. Now let me say this because I want this to be the last Anthony Hamilton discussion about me and Anthony.
It's 7:58. Okay. Go
Just
ahead.
quick. Anthony Hamilton is an amazing singer. I think he's a top 5 talent over the last 30 years. My only problem with Anthony Hamilton is his songwriting and his production. Now, here's the thing, and I'll give an example. This group, I don't know if y'all like them, West Coast hip hop group, Dilated People. They have 2 producers, Evidence and Bad Boo. They would always do like 1 or 2 tracks on the album, and I would be like, yo, those 2 tracks are dope. Why don't they ever produce the whole album? Guess what? They did. It wasn't good. Certain people are good for writing you 1 or 2 songs. Certain producers are good for just giving you 1 or 2 tracks here and there. Everybody is not built to write an entire album. I just don't think Anthony Hamilton is the greatest songwriter. That's all I'm saying.
I just put that out there. I just put that out there, and I'm gonna tag him in it. I want you to know, Kill said that you suck. Okay.
Here's the part. This is not it. He does not suck. It's like how we did the Prince show, and we said, yo, we gotta talk about Prince. He's a singer, songwriter, producer, philanthropist, all these things. I mean, Anthony Hamilton, amazing singer. He's an songwriter. His song, I mean, really listen to Amen. And I love Amen. It's 1 verse. This dude literally sings the same verse the whole song.
Because he's talking, he sings the hook. The hook is only.
You better take up for him. I know that's right, Kay. You better take up for him.
And that's how it is. Anytime you got a hook on a song, it's gonna be repetitive, and so it's repetitive. But there are other words in there when he talks about her and her love and so forth. And he says, "You make me say amen." He brings the hook back and he sings.
Y'all
amen.
like it.
No, I'm not.
Y'all like it because of the premise of he's saying amen to.
No, it's not. I like it because it's a good song.
Don't do that. No, that's a no. Don't do that.
No, okay.
No.
Let's go to the next bad singer. So the next bad singer.
Hold tight. Let me ask this. So you're telling me that you think Anthony Hamilton, because these are 2 totally different things. R. Kelly can be a great singer and be a great songwriter. 2 totally different things. You think Anthony Hamilton is a great songwriter?
I do. And you know why? Anthony Hamilton, to me, with the exception of the fact that he can sing well, he's like the Southern male version of Mary. And so what happens is Happy Mary sucks.
Absolutely.
Happy Anthony Hamilton ain't really that great. Anthony Hamilton, when there's a
I'll take that. Give me that. Happy Anthony ain't great.
Yes.
Okay.
When when his songs are happy, you gotta let him just write 2 songs and call it a day. Because when he goes to that third one, it starts to go down a little bit. Because you can't be happy all 12 songs. You can't at all. You got to bring some of that grit in. You got to be hurt. You got to have a struggle. And when he brings that grit in, that's when he rocks. The downfall is they let him write the whole happy album, and you like, well, baby, no, like just do 2 happy songs because that's all you got in you, and then let's take it back to what really got you here. You need that gritty sound. He can't be gritty and happy the whole time. He can't. He can be borderline, but he can't be gritty and happy because the pitch in his voice, everything changes when he's happy. So that's where I'll give you that part right there.
We good because that's all that you said it perfect. You know, when that first album, well, not the first one, really coming from where I'm from,
right?
Some pain right there. That was that pain.
Right.
On this new joint, because I like the new joint.
I got some pain in there too.
The joint walking my shoes.
Oh, absolutely.
You got that pain. So like you said, but he's not great when he's happy. So we say we on the same page as far as
we're not on the same page because I think that Anthony Hamilton is a great songwriter.
Right. Well, you're right. We're not on the same page there. I think Ann is cool. I just think sometimes I just always want to hear other people come together. And the problem is that I don't, and JR, y'all may know more about this, like who are a lot of the behind the scenes songwriters, you know, great songs. Like, you know, of course I know the producers, but you know, who are the dope songwriters? Like I know Jasmine used to write for a lot of people before, you know, she started getting on and everything like that. So I don't know who are like those great, because I think it's a 3-pronged thing. I think you've got to have a good producer, but you got to have a good song. You got to have good lyrics too, you know.
Right. But you know what? Saying that right there, Kill, with the great songwriter, it kind of puts me in mind to like Missy Elliott. Right. Missy is dope for other people. Missy is okay for herself. And I mean, like with the LSG song, that joint was dope. She sang her natural ass off. And when you think about it, she had the shortest verse in the whole song, but she killed it. And I think what happens sometimes is that when they write for other people, they pour their heart into it. It's kind of like you doing a project for me or somebody else. You're going to pour your heart into it. When it comes to you doing a project for yourself, you want to do it 10 times better because it's you. Like, yo, I'm doing this for me. It got to be even doper. When you really don't have to compete with yourself. You can still put the same type thing out and it's going to be good. And so that's what you find sometimes with these songwriters, these singers who are writing a lot of their songs, and they're like, oh, I wrote this for such and such, I wrote that for such and such, I wrote this for that one, this for that one, and they're like, yeah, I wrote my whole CD, and then you buy it and you're like, well, what happened? Was you asleep when you wrote this? You know, were you getting high? But it's almost like you put so much pressure on yourself to deliver an even doper project that you can't. And again, you gotta go back to Face. Face don't try to outdo nothing for himself that he do for other people. R. Kelly is like that. You can tell an R. Kelly sound. When you hear a song, you like, yo, that's an R. Kelly song. When he put his album out, he don't try to outdo himself. He just put out, yo, this is me. This is how it's going to go. We going to rock. And I think that's what happens sometimes. And that may be the issue with Anthony Hamilton too. And also, just one more thing, and then I'm going to let you move on, is that I don't care how many years you've been writing songs, all of that stuff ain't fly. Like you talked about Big. When you listen to Big CD, you could tell the growth and you could tell in the sound like, okay, he recorded this at this time, he was here at this time. All of that stuff ain't fly. And I don't care if you've been writing for 22 years. Some of that stuff don't need to leave that marble notebook. It don't at all. It sounds good at the time, but like, yo, leave that in the back and just be like, yeah, I remember I wrote this. It don't need to make it to the mainstream. And I think sometimes that's also another thing.
And you know, another thing that you bring up, Kay, is so deep about that is I think a lot, because the singers that I've worked with, they all think they're writers. And they're not. And I think one of the problems is that, you know, when, you know, of course, when people became more business minded, they're like, oh, the money's in the songwriting, then everybody wanted to try writing their own song. But again, just because you can sing and you get that solo in the church choir every Sunday and you bring mama and them to tears, don't mean you can write a song about Jesus. It just don't. Because I've been in the studio with some singers and I'm just like, yo, Naomi got better songs than this. Like, you know, but you can't tell that singer nothing. You can't tell that singer, yo, your song ain't dope or this ain't dope. You know what I mean? And I think it's so hard to come across people who you can actually sit down and explain to, okay, boom, the song is cool, but you know what? We want you to work with some people. You know what I mean? And again, we talked about it earlier in another show. That artist in development is just dead nowadays. You know what I mean? Like watching that Rough Riders joint was dope because I really didn't know a lot about the label, but just I was like, wow, you know, like these cats had to like really battle and really show their skills to get a deal. And I was like, man, like my respect for that label and that crew just went up so much from watching that behind the label joint, because it's like, yeah, that's the development. It's like, yeah, sure, I heard you singing on, you know, at an open mic, but that ain't it. Like you got to get in and you got to keep going and keep mastering your craft and everything like that. So I thought that was a dope point you brought up too, because again, everybody who can sing don't mean you can write songs. And some singers know that. Some singers know where I need help at. And that songwriting is one. But here's the problem with that. When I give up that songwriting money, now I'm giving up royalties.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people
don't want to do what you really want to do. Do I really have this passion? Because they all say I got this passion for singing. Do you really have the passion? Because you're just going to keep dropping records and working with dope producers so that you could build up some money. You know, you're going to do some cameos and something, you know, and that's what you have to figure out. You just got to figure that out, because a lot of dope producers can't sing a lick. You've seen a lot of these behind the music specials or whatever they want to call them every couple of years, and they'll have a dude in there with a keyboard and he's like, yeah, I wrote this song, and he's singing the song and you looking like, so the artist felt this song? Because I'm not feeling nothing hearing you sing this, you know? So you got to just stay in your lane. I don't know.
Right. All right, JR, you know the other singers, subpar, you know, maybe with good production and songwriting that have blown, or the vice versa, you know, with a singer who's incredible but just never had that right songwriter, producer to kind of push them. And here's the question that, and we'll end with, is also, who would you rather be? Would you rather be the music who has a discography, who can, you know, still go out on the road and put on a show and has a good 8 to 9 songs? Or would you rather be the Jennifer Hudson who, you know, I'm always talking about your legacy, you know, and one of my biggest jokes against Philly's own Kevin Hart is that this nigga's legacy is going to be whack ass movies. You know what I'm saying? Movies that have no play value. Nobody's ever watching Ride Along 2 again. You know, this ain't like, you know, and I'm always like Eddie Murphy. When I looked at Eddie's filmography, you know, it's like every comedy, he was a different person. You know, Axel Foley wasn't 48 Hours. He wasn't Prince Hakeem, who wasn't Marcus Graham from Boomerang. We'll be watching Boomerang and Coming to America until Christ comes for his church. You know what I mean?
Okay, wait, JR, before you talk, now it's time for me to make my point. Kill, you were so hard. Huh?
I say, here comes a big joker.
You are so hard on people. Let me tell you something. You notice if Kill is not feeling somebody, he totally shuts them down.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Kevin Hart ain't trying to be Eddie Murphy. He ain't trying to be nobody but Kevin Hart. And he makes a lot of good money doing it. You may not watch Ride Along 2 20 years from now, but it's a whole crew of people that's behind us that's going to watch it, and they're going to deem it a classic. They're going to think it's funny as hell. You have to accept people in their space. This is what they do. We all love music, but we all bring something different to the table every show with what we look for. You go hard on the producers. JR goes hard on like the writers, whatever. Me, it's all the visual, the singing. Yo, this person can sing. Their visual is good. They got a little backstory. I don't care. You go so hard, and when you don't think somebody is living up to Kill standard, you kill them. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot call yourself a music lover and not be able to love people in the space that they
Hold tight, man. Yo. Whoa.
You feeling it, huh, Kay? You was feeling it.
I said, Kay went in. Man.
Yes, he did.
So you might ride along too. My bad. No
disrespect.
I'm just saying that now, and see, here's the funny thing. I am the biggest, or I was the biggest Kevin Hart fan. When Paper Soldiers first dropped, I was telling people, yo, this is the next dude. He's from Philly. He's funny as hell. I told people they had Paper Soldiers on sale at Circuit City. This was a long time ago, Circuit City, for $6.99. I told people, buy the movie. If you don't like it, I'll give you the money back. You ain't even got to take it back to the store. This is how much I believe in Kevin. His stand-up was crazy. But then I think for me, it's just, and maybe it's just and you know what I've realized, because me and T was talking about this the other day. I don't know if you ever saw a stand-up when he just said, you know what? If you my girl and we out on a date and a nigga hits you, you just got hit. Like, that's it. I'm a punk. I'm a walk away. I ain't getting in the middle of that. And maybe Kevin is just doing, like you said, what Kevin is doing is because every role it's the same role. It's like the movie with The Rock. You the same little corny dude in the movie with Ice Cube. You just the corny dude all the time, my nigga. You don't want to look thorough. You don't even want to try to be flying.
That's what he does, and you gotta accept it.
Right,
And
like you
that's
said,
what makes him money. That's what makes him funny to people. Like, yo, his jokes is funny. Like, yeah, when he talks about his ex-wife when he was married to her, like, yo,
the stand-up is different. I'm not talking the stand-up. I don't got no beef.
In the movies, he's going to be the same person. Some people don't have no diversity, so to try to give him a serious role or switch up his character,
it wouldn't work for him. It wouldn't work
for him. So you got to put him in because you know he's going to draw in that crowd that otherwise wouldn't come to the movies. It's kind of like we talked about the Ghostbusters song. They put Bobby Brown, who was the hottest dude out at the time, to sing the Ghostbusters song. Who would have thunk it? And he made it hot.
But on top of that, they gave it dope production. Let's not act like Bobby had the what was his name? Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. What was his name? Ray Parker Jr. They ain't give Bob that. Bob a bang like they
got to follow me. I'm gonna tell you, this is how it goes.
Follow. He does.
This is how it is. I will never forget. Now, JR, you just sit back and listen because you ain't gonna know none of these people. So when we was at Morgan, and one time me and Dewan was in the car, and Dewan was giving me a ride home, and so we was talking about the parties, the upcoming school year. So I'm like, yo, you gonna throw parties? You gonna collaborate with TTC? You gonna do something with Randy and them? And he was like, I don't know. He was like, you know, they doing their thing. We all have our following, and we bring something different to each party. So they got their following, they gonna do their thing. I got my following, I'm gonna do my thing. I don't know if we would ever do anything together, but I wish them well. That's what happens. Kevin Hart got his following, and he stays in that lane, and he wishes everybody else well because he's still gonna bring in the money. You pair him up with somebody like The Rock. The Rock is whack, but he just eye candy because he looked good, and then so you pair him up with that, and it rocks and rolls. Q, you gotta accept people in the lane that they in. I mean, that's it, JR. What was your response to Q?
But here's the thing, hold tight. But here's the thing, it doesn't mean that I gotta like him. Here's a question: which one are you gonna go see the new Rock and Kevin Hart movie when it come out?
Would I?
No, I said who's gonna go see the new Rock and Kevin Hart movie when it drops?
All the millennials that are behind us, and those are people that are gonna watch it 20 years from now.
And see, I question if that. I mean, again. And it's always the marketing, because you'll hear, oh, Ride Along 2, #1 comedy in America. Guess what? It's the only comedy in America. It's no other comedy. So it sounds good. It sounds great. It sounds like it's selling tickets out the roof. But if it's the only comedy, that's like me saying
you take things too literal. That's what I'm trying to tell you, dude.
It's not literal.
Shake it off, son. Come on, like that.
He does that to me, yo.
No.
What do I do to you, JR? What do I do to you? What do I do to you now? Now it's just gang up on
you. Do that,
JR.
Like you said, I take stuff too lit. You said I take stuff too far. Like when I was like, yo, if you gonna tell me about the Bronson Tiller joint, and I said trap soul, you gonna throw soul on there? I want to hear some soul. I don't want to hear you like, nah, you can't go in it like that. I have to. You gonna put soul in it? I don't hear no soul in it.
No, Kill is very black and white.
With that.
Kill is so black and white with what he wants and where he is with his stuff. You don't see the big picture around it. You gotta shake it off. Unbutton that top button in the next one and go like this and shake it off.
Here's all I'm saying is we all are gonna have people that we like and that we don't like. You're right. Obviously, somebody out there likes Kevin Hart's movies. I didn't hear neither one of y'all saying y'all run to go see him, so I take it ain't y'all. But like you said, the millennials behind us love it. It ain't just my cup of tea. So at the end of the day, I don't think, and maybe y'all will, I'll ask some of my kids, hey, I know y'all got all the bootlegs. Do y'all watch Kevin Hart movie again? Do they have any replay value?
Here we go again. You gonna ask your hood kids, y'all going to see Kevin Hart? You gotta be more diverse with the kids that you deal with and be like, yo, you going to see Kevin Hart? Because you gonna have
you tell me who's I ain't
going. Then you gonna have another group like, yo, I love this dude, he's bananas. And then you gonna have the group in the middle like, I don't know, maybe Mr. Kill, maybe not. Kill, I'm not messing with you tonight. I'm not gonna mess with you with your black and white thinking. That's the next show.
That's the next
Kill black and white. That's the next show.
Yes, we gotta do one.
JR, how you jumping on the bandwagon now, man? Now you jumping on the bandwagon. Now I'm black and white.
Making some good statements tonight.
Now JR making some good statements. Now y'all, okay, it's cool. I get it. All right, JR. All I was saying is that my goal to create music, whatever kind of art, I want replay value. There are some CDs out there that have no replay value. So my question to y'all is, would you rather be the singer, the music, who has the discography, but the knock on you is you can't sing, or would you rather be the Jennifer Hudson who can sing her ass off, but you got no hits? JR, who would you rather be?
Shit. Well, you know, with me doing videos, I'm a guy that love vocals for real. I'm a vocal. Here you go. I'm the vocal dude, but I can't be a fool, and I need a hit. Like, you want to make money. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't be stupid and be like, all right, look. Because I feel like everybody in the beginning, you got to have a gimmick. Like, that's just what it is to get noticed. That's just what it is, in my opinion. There's got to be a gimmick. I don't care what anybody say. Like we said, we were going back to Mary. Her gimmick was hip-hop beats and her singing over it. That was her gimmick. Then when she got to the second album, it wasn't all about the hip-hop. So it wasn't no hip-hop beats like that. It was just straight, Mary was giving us straight R&B on that. So it was like she was evolving as an artist. But I feel for me, if I had to pick between the two, like you said, I have to be the vocals. I would have to be like Jennifer Hudson for real. But yeah, but that's a tough ass question though.
All right, so you're going with you'd be Jennifer Hudson with no hits.
Yes.
All right, cool. Okay, who would you go with?
Hell no. Y'all know I like attention. I'm going to be that chick that can't sing, and I'm going to have all the dope producers, and I'm going to have a whole discography where people is buying me, and they're going to be like, hey, cool as hell. She really can't sing though, but yo, her songs is dope. That's going to be me, because I got the
Yo, so mainstream. You sell out. You a sellout. You a sellout. You sell out, yo.
Let me tell you, Jennifer Hudson is still in that house that she was raised in right now, in that room with the BBD poster on the wall, because she ain't making no money. Right now is in North Carolina. That's why she took over the T-Mobile guy. When you making hits, you making hits. The Mary T-Mobile dude, stop playing. You making hits. Fanny went down here and got the dude from T-Mobile when she went to upgrade her phone and get more data. Stop. I'm going to be Mary out this camp. Still wearing Yaki number 22 hair from the Chinese hair in my head with that black glue. And y'all going to be like, Kay ain't changed her look. Yo, it's crazy. No. And y'all going to come to my meeting. And y'all gonna be mad when y'all at the gate trying to get in, and my dogs is running at y'all at the gate like, get out of here. Nah, no, I'm gonna be that person.
All right, so Kay's going that route. And to be honest with you, man, I gotta go with JR on this one, man. I gotta go with
the way you all killed me right there, rapping on my CD with me.
I was like, okay, let me get a guest verse. Let me get a guest verse.
For JR for rap, he need to be down with us. He gonna be rapping them damn Rappers Delight rhymes on back of my corny loud.
Yo, Kay, stop. Yo, stop, please.
See, Kay taking out all the frustration. JR, Kay taking out all the frustration on us.
Crying right now.
We getting it all right now. We the heavy bag at the gym. We getting all her frustration from all week right now. We getting that.
Yes, oh my God.
You got this dude over here crying
over here, man.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Because you know what the big thing is? Here's the question. If Jennifer Hudson, I don't think Jennifer Hudson is starving. I would have to say Jennifer is living a good life, even though she doesn't have the hits. I mean, would y'all disagree, or would y'all say
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would say she's comfortable. She's not in the basement handling on the wall. She's comfortable.
So again, when we say this, we're not saying you either want to be rich or poor. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, I think Rhyme Festival once used to write a lot of Kanye's rhymes and Common's rhymes, and he said something like, "Yo, I got tired of going to my friends' mansions, and I'm just in my little townhouse." You know what I mean? So, you know, we're not saying poor or broke. You know, Jennifer Hudson, I'm sure, hell, maybe at the end of the day, maybe living a similar lifestyle to music. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to keep my mind out of the movies and the other stuff she does, just keeping it on music. But I think so much to me is just about, and it's how I approach all the music I make. I just want to make dope music. If I can make money from it, then that's cool, you know. But even my hustles now, you know, I do more screenwriting to try to make money than I ever expect to get from music, you know. But replay value is just what I want. You know, it's like when we talk about my life and when we talk about those CDs that like we just can't live without, and the 5 CDs you want to take on a deserted island, or the CD you could pop, or the, you know, being on shows with y'all and hearing people saying like, well, I done brought that CD 5 times because it skipped or it broke. Like that's what I want to make. You know what I mean? Yeah. And even if it may not make a lot of money, and again, I'm saying this now, I ain't in that position. I could turn around and be Uncle Tom in a heartbeat. I'm just telling you how I am right now. It's just like, I just want that replay value. I want that value that you could say, yo, I want to listen to that song Kill produced Dice Game for Matt Reguzino 10 years from now. You know, we ain't make a dime off that song, but just
that joint is a banger.
Everybody who loved it and all the blogs that was showing love, that was so much to me. And I understand in this music game, I don't know if y'all saw this, I was showing it to T the other day, they said that the average Spotify employee makes $168,000. That right there made me work for Spotify. So I'm looking for a job at Spotify. So we can.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but the article was saying is that a songwriter would have to get over 200 million streams of their song to make what the average Spotify employee makes. And that's if you own all your publishing. You would have to get 100 million plays. Or they said Pharrell got 400 million plays of Happy and walked away with $2,700, you know, because of these new laws. So I've kind of like thrown my towel in with, okay, I'm just making music because I love it. Like it's no longer, yo, this could be the thing that's going to get us and we quit our jobs. Probably not with these new rules.
So hell no. I think that when you love what you do, what you do. You know, and I get what you're saying, like, as far as, like, yo, we not getting rich. Like, back in the days, that was the thing. Like, yo,
we could get rich from this.
Like, no, you know, everybody was pulling up with their Maxima and all of this. You know, like, yo, we making it. But I think now, like, when you talked about the love and the passion for it, I think that's where Joe is.
Right.
Joe probably has the same attitude that you have. Like, yo, when I go out and I perform, so many people show me love. Because Joe perform in like clubs and stuff, and you're like, yo, dude, I can perform in here. But you can tell that he loves what he does. And if you've ever seen him perform in a smaller venue, the way he interacts with the people, he loves what he's doing. And I think that right there in and of itself is great to him. Like, yo, I sing well, my vocals are solid, I'm giving you solid songs, solid albums, and I'm just getting love from people who are like, yo, son, you should be so much bigger. You should be so much bigger. In his mind, he probably is as big as we want him to be, and he's happy where he is.
Right.
So I think, you know, all of the crazy jokes aside, I'm with you. Like, yo, to live comfortable, you could do it when you're passionate about what you do, because it's gonna come to you. The other people who are doing this to get rich, like you see it so many times, like, yo, I'm about to get out the hood doing this. Slim, it's 50 million other people on your block trying to get out the hood doing this.
Right.
It's not happening no more. You got to work a job, you know? So.
And the funny thing is that you say that is because I believe, because we had that huge problem in hip hop in the mid 90s where it was like everybody was trying to follow the formula to blow up. And I used to always just say, just make dope music, just keep making dope music. And it was funny because I don't know if y'all remember Smooth the Hustler out of Brownsville. He had to join Broken Language or Broken English.
Yep.
He had I forgot you from Brownsville, JR, so you know. And he had to join Hustler. In the
JR, I thought you was from, I don't know where you from.
Nah, he's from Tilden. He's from Tilden in Brownsville.
I don't pay no attention to Kay. She bugging right now. Cause she know I ain't never seen no Bronx. I ain't never seen no. Go ahead with your story, kid. Please go ahead with your story.
So when we was at the radio station, they was like, yo, this Smooth the Hustlers, you know, new single Hustling, you know, over the old Freddie's Dead break. It was like, this is gonna blow up.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody liked it. Then somebody played that B-side and was like, that's it. Or the same thing with MOP. I remember MOP for their third album, First Family for Life, they was trying to blow up. They rhymed over the Rocky beat. They got Jay-Z. And I know they was like, yo, this is it. This is our hit. We got it. Didn't go nowhere. Then you do Annie Up, a song robbing people. And then that's the joint that Flex is dropping bombs on and every... You know, and it's just like, yo, just make dope music. Like that formula, this is not cooking. This is not a recipe. You know what I mean? You can follow the formula to the T, not make it. But then when you just, because who would have ever thought out of all the MOP songs, Annie Up would be the one that they're
What?
You know what I mean? Like, yo, it's like, yo, and it was, I think they found we're trying to do, okay, we done tried 50 million things and it ain't worked. We just gonna make some Brownsville gutter hip hop and boom, there you go. And it's like, just keep making dope music. And I mean, I know that's easier said than done. You know, I got the day job. These rappers and these artists ain't trying to get no day job. You know, like I said, I always gotta be on both sides of the fence where I gotta understand this how you pay. Tret said something in that movie back in the day, K, Rhyme or Reason. If I wasn't on the stage, I'd be in your crib robbing you right now. You know, and I gotta say, man, I'm sure hip hop has lowered the crime rate in different neighborhoods across the nation. These dudes ain't gotta be robbing you, you know, when you get off the train no more because they're in the studio. But you know, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say. But you know, at the end of the day, I think we all agree, and Mary is the icon. She deserves it. And like I said again, no knock on Mary, love her to death. What's the 4-on-1 in my life are probably two of my favorite albums of all time. Not just R&B, not of a certain decade, just of all time. They're just two incredibly produced albums. And the dopest thing about Puff that a lot of people don't realize is that, you know, you had two totally different producers rocking with those two albums. You know, Chucky wasn't involved with the first one. You know, that was Dave Hall and all them dudes from Burnerville. You know what I mean? And to then come back with Chucky and just two dope albums. She and love Mary to death, y'all. Love Mary to death. So JR, tell them what's going on with you and your videos. Give them all the updates.
What am I doing? I'm about to record. I'm actually gonna record tomorrow, but yeah, I'm still doing the current R&B bangers, trying to put out some, you know, let people know that R&B, real R&B ain't dead. So I'm trying to, you know, I do at least like 3-4 songs a week, do some current R&B bangers, and then I do like the old school on Thursday. So yeah, put out 2 videos a week, try to keep this R&B going, and check it out at juniorworldofsoul.com. So yeah.
What is K putting up? JR doesn't have a job.
He ain't got no job. I ain't paying no attention to her. Yo, K, this I want to tell you. Yo, why you got people on Twitter talking about I ain't got no job? Like you got this, like this is flowing on Twitter. Do you be seeing this, Kill? Like I'm like, I be like back and forth with people, right? And people be like, yo, you ain't got no job. I'm like, what the hell you hear that from? I'm listen to the show. Kaye said you ain't got no job in like 5 shows. I'm like, yo, are you kidding me? Like, yo, Kaye got people running with this right now.
How Kaye
it
got
was so
people,
bad.
How do Kaye
when my mother listens to all our episodes now, she be like, JR, you got a job? Junior, do you really got a job? Because this girl really goes in on you not having a job. I'm like, yo, she's kidding. And my mom like, are you sure? She was like, I'm gonna have to check some social security numbers or something.
The funniest thing is how this chick has so much pull in the Twitter streets and ain't on Twitter is besides me, man.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You starting rumors someplace where you don't even you in the Bronx and this
okay,
rumors about
you
somewhere.
Take that back.
All I'm saying is that, so JR told me where he worked, right? So they got 2 locations up there. And so I asked him specifically which location he was at because I used to work in the building next door and we would walk over to their building because there was a cafeteria in there and we would buy food, right?
Yes,
so
all about lunch.
Don't try to switch it up now. When I said that to JR, he looked puzzled. So I was like, you know when you take the elevator up and then you get the bridge and you walk over, and he was looking puzzled. So I was like, maybe he worked in the other building. So I was like, you work in the one up like by the mall, whatever. And then he looked even more baffled, and I was like, JR, stop. So my old job is now a business partner. So I'm at my old job, delivering a check, whatever. So you can see they parking lot. You know, they got security because they doing all this heavy stuff, and they got all the security. So I'm looking over there because you can see the cars. So I'm like, I know what JR car look like because I've been in his car. So I'm like, I parked my car, I'm looking, and I was like, well, I don't see JR car. Okay, not a big deal. So I'm driving through, and I go by the other parking lot where it's more open where the common folks park. And I was like, well, JR car ain't out here. But damn, I go on Instagram, and JR got them glasses and the hat and the red cup, and he like, this is my new video. And I was like, this dude don't have no job. Because videos, and you're supposed to be working. Every time you say, JR, you don't have no job,
with your story,
like,
yo. You make it so believable.
He got the same outfit on in every selfie. So I said to him, do you do security? He was like, no, I'm an engineer. So why are you wearing the same outfit every day to work? Every selfie.
Stop.
Talking about I'm at work. It's the same pose, same everything in the background. Don't change. I'm like, this dude don't have no job.
Yo, her story is on point, yo. You make your story so believable. It's ridiculous.
Yo, all I gotta say is don't ever get locked up with Kaye.
Go ahead with yourself, yo.
You gonna have a story, please. Y'all already know what it is with me at Kill889. We'll make beats for food. I'm gonna check y'all out next week, y'all.
Later.
All right.